Hey there, classmates. This is Adam Nitti in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm excited to share my portfolio project with you. I'm a longtime musician, composer, and music producer, and started taking the Nucamp full stack bootcamp in an effort to try and transition into a coding career. And I decided to do a project that would play on my experiences and knowledge as a musician and producer, composer, and incorporate it into something that could actually be used in real life. And that's what you're looking at here. I have my my project actually hosted live and online at rmmmusic.studio, which stands for Renaissance Man Music. And this is my page. And so here's my homepage, summarizing kind of what I do and stuff I've done before. I've got a services page which summarizes what services that I offer and kind of the way I do that. I've got a media page which is select musical examples that I've done for certain corporate clients. I've got an about page which sort of tells the story of my musical journey and kind of what brought me here. And then I've got a contact page which of course is for people to reach out and get in touch with me. The project was completely done using React, and I learned a ton in the process. As far as challenges faced and the solutions that I found, there were several. Number one was dealing with the aesthetics of the site, trying to get it to where it was going to be responsive and look like it made sense on different size screens and different size windows. This was a big challenge for me, and I had to figure out ultimately how to use a combination of things, blending CSS, React and Bootstrap, heavily depending on Flexbox to make these pages ultimately work well. So that took a little while. Lots of trial and error. The contact form ended up being super challenging, probably the biggest challenge of all, because I had to deal with form validation. And even though this is a really simple form, the idea of ensuring that weird things are not entered and I'm just getting gibberish submitted, that took me a while. So I had to do some research on validation techniques and methods and finally put together something that worked. So you can see it's pretty dynamic. My submit button is disabled until the fields are all valid, and for every field that's invalid, you can see I've got an error message that is provided as well. I put in an email address that's legit, and then a message that's legit. Now my button is active, and I can actually submit that. And I've got a little confirmation message, and this sort of confirms that the message has gone through. So that was the first challenge. But then the secondary challenge was actually making this where it could be used in real life, and that meant I had to have a way to actually connect this with my email inbox. So I did some research, and I found a service called email.js. And what that is that's a free service that allows sending emails directly from JavaScript, and you can specify specific parameters and things. And I set it up to where when I submit the form, this bit of code here communicates with email JS, sends the parameters, and that stuff ends up going to my inbox. And all this happens after the form has been validated. So yeah, the contact form was pretty challenging. The rest of the site is really not that sophisticated. Hopefully it's just really functional. The only other thing that I really had to kind of spend some time researching was the use of an audio player that was going to be simple enough to just provide audio and or video solutions. And I ended up going with React H5 audio player. And then I just basically placed these with the asset that I've chosen, into the page, and it works well responsively as well. Like when you resize it, it doesn't look all all strange or weird. So that works pretty good. And that's really it. The only other thing I'll mention is that in order to get it hosted, I of course had to buy a domain name, and I found a service called Netifly, which allowed me to host it for free. So there you go. There's my portfolio project using React. I want to thank all my instructors, and thank you all for watching and for your consideration.